Students, today I am going to discuss with you the story Lost Spring. This story is prescribed in the book Flamingo. Students, we already have discussed this story earlier, and the important question and answer I have already discussed with you in the previous videos. Now, today, as a revision, just some interesting facts about the story I am going to discuss with you with the help of extra marks. I hope so it will improve your knowledge about this chapter. May this chapter create a better understanding of. Therefore, let's start.
Learning objectives. By the end of this module, the students will be able to understand, interpret, and evaluate the setting, plot, and the characters of the story. Extract relevant information, identify and appreciate the themes of the story, particularly highlighting the issues of poverty and child labor in a democratic country. Learn that we must do our bit to eradicate such menace from the society. In module Introduction, about the author, summary and analysis, character sketch, message. Child labor in India is a human rights concern in the eyes of the entire world. As per the statistical records currently available, there are about 20 million child laborers in our country. Child Labor Act of 1986, passed by the Government of India, child labor is a grave and ugly truth that besmirches the name of India.
The meaning of besmirches means
Besmirch.
besmirch means damage, someone's reputation. Synonyms: tarnish, blacken, disgrace, dishonor.
Child labor is a serious and extensive problem in India. Many children under the age of 14 are working as maids in tea stalls, in glass factories, as laborers. The future of a society lies in the welfare and well being of its children. It is the responsibility of a nation to safeguard the innocence of its children by keeping them free from the clutches of child labor. About the author. Anis Jung is an Indian woman author, journalist, and a columnist for major newspapers in India and abroad. Her most noted work was Unveiling India, Night of the New Moon, Seven Sisters, and Breaking the Silence. Born in Rourkela, Anis Jung spent her childhood in Hyderabad. Both her parents are renowned scholars and poet. After completing her college from Osmania University, she went to the University of Michigan Ann Arbor in the United States for higher studies. Take a look at the summary and analysis. The story is an excerpt from the book Lost Spring by Anis Jung. In the story, she focuses attention on the state of abject poverty that forces young children to work under difficult circumstances and robs them of the pleasures of an innocent childhood. The narrator's attention is drawn every morning to Sahib, a rag picker from Simapuri. After months of acquaintance with him, the narrator once asks him his name, which is Sahib Alam. Ironically, it means Lord of the Universe. Narrator notices innumerable children walking barefoot. One explanation she hears is that it is not poverty, but a tradition. She wonders if that is the way to explain their constant state of poverty. Sahib's parents had come to India from Bangladesh in 1971 in search of food and livelihood, which the barren fields of their native village failed to provide them. Survival in Simapuri is rag picking for them. Garbage is gold. children, garbage is a surprise package, as they sometimes find a rupee or even 10. And for the elders, it is a means of survival. Sahib looks for gold in the garbage dumps and leads the life of misery, roaming around barefoot in the streets. Living in shabby shanties made from mud, he cannot afford to go to school. Tells us that around 10,000 rag pickers have lived in Simapuri for more than 30 years. These unfortunate people live without an identity but have ration cards which allow them to vote and buy grain. Morning, the narrator notices Sahib on his way to the milk booth with a steel canister. Sahib now works in a tea stall, earning 800 rupees, but he looks dissatisfied. He seems to have lost the carefree look. He carries a canister which is much heavier than his plastic bag. At least the plastic bag was his own. The canister belongs to his employer, suggesting he is no longer his own master. Look at another excerpt. I want to drive a car. Mukesh, a resident of a dusty street in Firozabad, wants to be his own master by converting his dream of becoming a motor mechanic into reality. His family is into bangle making, which is the main occupation of poor families living in Firozabad. Around 20,000 children have lost their vision working here illegally in dirty and small places, devoid of air and light. Lose their eyesight even before they become adults. Mukesh led the narrator to his house, which was in a very shabby condition. A frail young woman, who is Mukesh's elder brother's wife, was cooking for the whole family. Mukesh's grandmother blames destiny for their state of plight. Years of tedious labor has killed their initiatives and dreams. Later suggests them to get themselves organized into cooperative, as they always get stuck between money lenders, middlemen, and policemen who profit by exploiting them. The narrator also realizes that there is no leader among them to see things differently. The children of these families accept this baggage naturally. The families have perforce accepted this lineage without any question. But when Mukesh repeatedly says, I want to be a motor mechanic, the narrator senses a ray of hope. Let's take a look at the character sketches. Sahib. Sahib is a rag picker from Simapuri. His full name is Sahib Alam, which means Lord of the Universe. Ironically, he does not know the meaning of his name. He keeps scrounging around for gold in the garbage dumps and leads the life of misery, roaming around barefoot in the streets. He lives in shabby shanties made from mud and cannot afford to go to school. Driven by poverty and hunger, his parents came to India from Bangladesh in 1971. Mukesh, a resident of a dusty street in Firozabad, wants to be his own master by realizing his dream of becoming a motor mechanic. His family is into bangle making, which is the main occupation of the poor families living in Firozabad. Living in a poorly built hut, he has no interest in his family's profession of bangle making. He is firm in his resolve to achieve his modest aim of joining a garage and learning to become a motor mechanic. Take a look at the message of the story. The lost spring has a tinge of irony. Among all the seasons, spring is the best season of a year. A season full of color, fragrance, and freshness. It is also a season of renewal and growth. Similarly, childhood is often likened to spring, as it marks the beginning of human life and has a tremendous scope for growth. It is full of joy, pleasure, and play. Children anywhere in the world are a source of great joy, but ironically, Millions of children like Sahib and Mukesh experience no spring in their lives, for their childhood is consumed in making a living. Education, play, and pleasure are not for them to enjoy. They must work to support themselves and their families.
Okay, students, meaning of a few words. Scrounge.
Scrounge.
Scrounge means seek to obtain something, typically food or money, at the expense or through the generosity of others or by stealth. Yes, synonyms: beg, borrow, scavenge, hunt. Next word, glib. Glib, meaning of belief is fluent but insincere and shallow. Yeah, you can say कि neat, plausible, silky, smooth talking, fast talking. That is glib.
Acquaintance.
Acquaintance. Acquaintance means students' slight knowledge of or friendship with someone. Yeah, synonym is association, relationship, contact, social contact. Next word is squatter.
Squatter.
Squatter, a person who unlawfully occupies an uninhabited building or unused land. That is squatter.
Wilderness.
Wilderness. Wilderness means an uncultivated, uninhabited, and inhospitable region. You can say, in other words, wasteland, desert, jungle, hinterland.
Mirage.
Next, mirage. Mirage, student, the meaning of mirage is a hope or wish that has no chance of being achieved. Here you can say, in other words, fantasy, yeah, hallucination, yeah, illusion.
Primeval.
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 Primeval. Primeval means, होता है students कि ancient, existing at or from a very early time. You can say, in other words, prehistoric, yeah, primal, yeah, old, yeah, primitive.
Slog.
Slog. Slog means to work hard over a long period, especially doing work that is difficult or boring during the daytime. Okay, students, its synonyms are lumber, toil, trudge, stomp.
Unkempt.
Unkempt students are untidy, not cared for. Yes, synonyms are disarrayed, dilapidated, messy, neglected. Mound. Mound means students a round mass projecting above a surface. Here you can see, in other words, hillock, bank, dune, embankment.
Hutment.
Hutment means students an encampment of huts. Here you can now next,
Sanctity.
sanctity. The meaning of sanctity is the state or quality of being holy. Yes, sacred or saintly. Yes, synonyms are holiness, godliness, sacredness, blessedness, saintliness, spirituality, piety, piousness. Okay, student, next meaning is lament. Lament. Lament means, to the students, a passionate expression of grief or sorrow. Here you can say, in other words, wail, wailing, lamentation, moan, mourning, groan, weeping, crying, sobbing. Next word, student.
Haul.
Haul means ki of a person pull or drag with efforts or force. किसी को खींचना. Meaning is drag, pull, tug, heave, hump, trail, draw, tow, manhandle. Next है student stigma.
Stigma.
Stigma means होता है students a mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstance, quality or of a person. Quality or person. Synonyms: shame, disgrace, dishonor. No, इसे you can say dabba है ना, कलंक in Hindi. Okay, no?
Vicious.
हाँ, vicious. Student, the meaning of the vicious is ferocious, savage, violent, dangerous, ruthless, remorseless. Okay, vicious, dushchakra.
Hurtle.
Hurtle. Hurtle means होता है students move or cause to move at high speed, typically in an uncontrolled manner. Synonyms: rush, race, chaos, bolt, bowl. It's dash. So student, with this I conclude this video. I hope that you must have learned something, and in such a very in a few minutes you must your knowledge